Welcome back to Temeron's Tactics. This is Dominions 4 Gameplay Tutorial Part 12. So we've got a big fight that's going to happen any moment here. He outnumbers me almost 2 to 1, but we have the defensive army here in EPERNIA of 46. So, that's another 25% of the battle right there. So he only slightly outnumbers us, really. And if you look at MNACE, it's according to our potentially inaccurate data. It says that the army consists of mainly Manikins. Manikins are their really, really weak undead that they just naturally spawn, okay? If you're the Carrion Woods, you just naturally create Manikins. They're very, very, very weak undead. So I'm hoping that their army is actually less tough than it looks. They're full of cannon fodder units. Lots and lots of cannon fodder units. And our army is actually pretty tough. I mean, we do have a lot of these light infantry, which are frankly cannon fodder units, but we also have a lot of other units that are more expensive and more efficient. And we're backed up by good spellcasters. I think that we would be able to take them. Really what we need to do here is just hold the line in EPERNIA, try to defend this location until our castle is completed. Once we have the castle here, we're going to have the supplies that we need to push forward into enemy territory. So let's just end the turn. Nothing happened. Okay, so back to EPERNIA. We've now got 479 gold. We're still working on the castle. Let's try to bring the defense up a little bit more to 55, okay? 55 more units, including 5 big old elephants back there, okay? Suddenly, he's down to 170 units. Well, where did those units go? I'm worried that he's going to try to get over here into Deadlands. That would be a sad day. So I would like to actually cast a ritual here. Let's go back to EPERNIA. I'm going to select just Temeron, my god, and I'm going to choose Cast Ritual Spell. These are all the rituals that I have right now. Okay, Ritual of Returning is one that teleports me to the home citadel if I'm wounded. Okay, so I could cast that now, and it's like a permanent buff, and then as soon as I'm wounded, it'll teleport me back home. Dispel is the one that I mentioned earlier that will get rid of a global enchantment. So the ritual that I'd like to cast is Astral Window. The caster opens an arcane rift through which he can observe distant lands. The rift closes after a while, but the duration can be prolonged if I spend extra gems. And the casting of the ritual allows me to scry on one province. Scry means magically scout. Okay, and the information gained is much more accurate than normal scout. So let's scout MNACE. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 extra gems into it so that astral window stays open for a while. It's like a magic mirror kind of thing. I can look through it and then I can see the enemy land, and it'll stay open for a couple months. All right. So we'll do that this turn, and then everybody else is just going to research and wait for that castle to be built. We've used our money, so I'll end the turn. Okay, an unexpected event. A handful of magic gems have been found in an abandoned graveyard, and I gained 8 death gems, otherwise known as 4 astral pearls. Okay, so we cast Astral Window. Now we can see MNACE. There's this little pentacle there, and that indicates that I can now see. Scrying has yielded this information. It contains exactly 325 units. And again, it's mostly Manikins. It's commanded by Manslay, the Carrion Centaur, who radiates power. And the local defense of the organ of the province is pretty good. We're still working on the castle, so we just need to sit here for a bit. I'm going to cast another ritual and cast Astral Window again. And I want to see what's going on in Digmore. And I'll put an extra gem into that as well. End the turn. A battle in EPERNIA. Oh boy, here we go. This is going to be the big fight. Certainly his 400 units are attacking. That doesn't quite look like 400 units, but we'll see. Our army's clearly larger. So let's see how this goes. These are carrion beasts. So they have sleep vines and a bite. And look at the sleep vines do a lot of magic damage. Those guys are right up on my javelineers, preventing them from being able to throw, putting them right into melee. There's our anti-magic that we cast successfully, so now all of our units are resistant to magic. undead elephant charging through our ranks. There's the haste spell, which will make our guys move twice as fast. Some of our guys, not a lot of them. Nice little javelin throw there. Looks like we have some slingers from the local defense group of 45-ish. I think we have 46 local defense there. You see, these are Manikins. You see, Manikins have a Sleep Vines attack, which is pretty potent, and a claw, which is all right, I guess. But they don't have any armor at all. No armor, no protection, and they only have 12 hit points. They are relatively resistant to magic, and they're not going to run, okay? But they're not really tough. They're easily killed. And there's Astral Healing, giving all of our units a little bit of health back. Hail of stones on the heads of the Manikins, knocking a few down there. You can see our elephants up at the top wanting to get up front so they can start trampling them. Astral Shield just went up on our Communion group up there in the top right. Another round of melee. And the armies of Asphodel are routed. All that's left is Manikins, and they can be banished by Tabira Kalamuk. You'll notice the Manikins still have not run, even though their army is routed, because they have 50 morale, so they just fight to keep up no matter what. Well, that felt like we did extremely well. Let's look at the stats. The enemy lost 190 units. Their commanders fled, but they lost all of their Manikins, and everybody, basically. Everybody except for their two commanders, and we only lost 22 light infantry. So we lost 10% of their army, and they lost like 99% of their army. I'm quite satisfied with that, okay? And we also have the Astral Window, which is revealing that there is actually no one in Digmore. Interesting. Well, now, because we still have the Astral Window open here in MNACE, we know that there's only 53 units left and that their Carrion Centaur commander is there. So now it makes sense to me that it would be a good idea for us to push forward into MNACE, which would allow us to destroy their temple. Even though they do have a Dominion advantage here, destroying their temple is going to make it so that that Dominion advantage starts to disappear and we start to push our Dominion into their provinces, which is exactly what we want to do. So we have 190 units here, right? We want everybody except for Faiz to attack MNACE. Oh, look, our castle's done, actually. Perfect timing. So Faiz just completed our castle. So see, now we have plenty of supplies here. And in MNACE, there's 165 supplies. We can see that because we're scrying, and that's revealing that there's 165 supplies there. Our army usage is currently 140, so we know that if we go in there, we'll be able to eat, and we'll be able to outnumber them quite nicely. So let's go ahead and just grab everybody except for Faiz and move it to MNACE, and Faiz can actually head back to Bataine, and he'll go pick up these reinforcements in Cetus for us. Okay? So the Battle of MNACE. He has quite a few guys there. He may have moved another army into a rendezvous with this army. And it's snowing. This will be an interesting fight. The fatigue levels of everybody in our army are going to increase rapidly because of the snow. The enemy team doesn't mind snow at all, but us, we're you know, cold-blooded creatures, so the snow is very, very, very bad for us. We do, however, have Animal Awe from the Throne of Beasts, which we captured far earlier in the game. So these wolves are probably not actually able to attack us effectively at all because they're in awe of us. And same with these flying creatures, which have flown back into the rear of our group here. These harpies. Okay, all of our guys have Animal Awe from that throne, so those harpies are probably not really able to attack us. He's going to hesitate to attack as well. Those harpies are going to find that our hero unit here is summoning those skeletons right next to him. It's Tabira Calendar, actually. There's our hero unit. Antun Shar is summoning these skeletons, which is making this area right here quite safe for melee attackers. Anyway. Looks like his centaurs here have broken. Yeah, their morale is broken. The satyr sneaks. Or satyrs, that is. Even snow will not stop the armies of Cetus. Some banishment from the enemy getting rid of our skeletons. We've got our own banishment as well, since they have a lot of undead, as usual. All they really have left is archers back here, for the most part. Trying to find a good position on the battlefield, but I'm just missing half of it, so I'm just going to let it sit right here. Unstoppable. Their prophet is here. Manslay the prophet. They chose this carrion centaur right here. Right here, this is their prophet. About to be killed by this swamp guard. It's bad news for Asphodel. Centaur archers are fairly decent in melee as well. They've got some hoof attack. They're obviously much better at long range, but they do have, you know, some melee ability, just no protection, you see, so they get taken out really quickly once they actually enter melee, as most archers do. There they go. Asphodel are routed. As a result, we lost 74 units. We actually lost quite a few. We lost 74, they lost 112. So that was actually a really pretty close fight. We lost almost, well, you know, that's like 40%, 35% or something like that of our army. And they lost a little bit more than half of their army. But we also, an enemy temple was found and razed. So that's really the victory here, is the temple. Well, let's have everybody patrol the province, and then we're going to have Temeron search for magic sites. We'll have Atun Shar search for magic sites. Tabira Kalamuk can preach. And we have 1,651 gold, so let's have Ashara build a temple. And then we'll just defend right here. I'm going to put a whole bunch of coins into defense. Buy a nice defense army here in MNACE. 49, that sounds good. So again, you're watching Temeron's Tactics. My name is Nuck Temeron. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the continuation of this gameplay tutorial series.